Hi, all. Welcome to Diversified Finance. I haven't done a video for a long time, actually, nearly a month or so, and I want to say I went to Sri Lanka for holiday and I've spent there like 3.5 weeks and I've got back on late March. So while I was in Sri Lanka, I couldn't be bothered doing a video. And as you guys know, at that time there was no much of a change in the market. But last Friday, right, we've seen what we want to see, right, which is the share market just kept on going down, and then Nasdaq dropped about like 1,000 points. So this is huge. So we are expecting a continuation to happen this week, but we don't know how much it's going to be, how severe it's going to be. So we have to wait and see overnight. So before I go into any charts, I just want to play what I mentioned like a month ago in my last video. So it's going to be the playback time is a bit quicker, so because I want to go through like probably 3 to 4 minutes of what I mentioned on that day, like a month ago. So let's have a quick listen to that, and I'll get back to charts just after, right after that. So that's what I'm saying right now. So I don't believe like this is going to last long, right? It could be like 2 minute wonder. You heard about like 2 minutes, 3 minutes wonder. It should be seems like something like that, but I'm strictly believe eventually Bitcoin needs to go lower. Right? As I mentioned earlier, we have never seen an all season without QE. QE means money printing. So for money printing to come in, we need to see a share market a crash, like a 30%, 20% crash in the share market. When I say the share market, specifically Dow Jones, Nasdaq, we need to see like 10 to 20% correction in the share market. That's when it will trigger QE. It will give Federal Reserve a reason to print money. So without money printing, without QE, we're not going to see all this. So we are not seeing we're not seeing money printing right now. So I don't believe this is going to last long. Like even if you go to weekly chart, yes, like this is it looks like a very bullish wick, right? So it's like bullish hammer candle, I would say. Yeah. So this one right here, right? So price drop, and within the same week it recovered. And but eventually, I'm thinking like it's going to come back down to the prices that we've been looking for. It could be the somewhere here like 64, or it would be somewhere up here, which is like 75 or so, 75K. So my expectation is, right, it's too early, like, this sort of a pump all of a sudden, right, just because of a tweet. I mean, it won't guarantee anything, right? So I don't believe, I'm still believing the market's going to go down. I'm shorting Ethereum because Ethereum pumps so much. If XRP, Solana, and these large, even Cardano, if they pump higher, I'm going to short them because I'm expecting them to go lower, right? So that's expectation. So I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but I do believe this is a short squeeze just to bring more money to the back into the market because everyone sold and got scared and just walked away. So they're trying to push it back up with this tweet and then bring everyone back, and they're going to dump more money on them. So I still believe Bitcoin still going to drop to 75. If you're lucky, if you want to see a bigger all season, we want to see Bitcoin drops at least to like 65 to 75 area. That's the best place. Even if you go lower, let's say to 60K, even between towards 60K, the bigger the dump, bigger the bump. If it goes to 60. Yeah. So as you can see, I mentioned this probably a month ago when Bitcoin price used to be around like 93,000, as you can see here. So now it's the price has gone down a lot lower. It's somewhere near 78,000 or so. But what let's have a quick look at the Bitcoin price action now. So as you can see here, this is the pocket that I had like driven like on this chart like long time ago. So, and I mentioned the other day, I'm expecting price to come to this pocket right here. So if it comes to this area, so which is like somewhere near 65 to 70K, it's better. It's like, but it's not the best. If you want to see a bigger pump, we want to see Bitcoin price even lower. So let's not forget, this blue line right there is a 200-week moving average, right? Simple moving average. So normally, uh, in mid-cycle tops, right, we tend to see Bitcoin coming closer to this uh, simple moving average. So right now it's at 45, but let's not forget it can consolidate is in this area. It could, let's say if you're expecting a lower prices below 65, but what it might do, like it will drop to this pocket right here and it's consolidate, and before it's going higher, it might make like a quick wick down to this simple moving average. So over time, this simple moving average is slowly rising. So, it could come closer to 50,000, like, in 3, 4 months or so. And given that, let's not forget, right, this is Bitcoin. Like 50% corrections, like for Bitcoin is normal. So we've seen the highest price, we've seen like, 10, let's say 110, right? And 50% dump is like 55K. So there's a possibility still Bitcoin could come towards like 55K. But it doesn't mean like you're just waiting like the Bitcoin to drop to like 50K and to like go all at that time. So that's not what I'm gonna do. But if I see first, it needs to come to this pocket right here. It has to drop below 70K. And then when it's somewhere near 70K, like say 60 to 65 to 70, I'm going to start slowly adding like Bitcoin to my portfolio, because I'm holding, as I mentioned earlier, I'm holding USDT right now because I sold and took profit like in January. So I'm going to get back in like when Bitcoin is below 70K, and lower it goes, I'm going to keep on adding, like when it's at 65, I'm going to add some more, and when it's at 60K, I'm going to add some more. And if you see like a major drop, right? Normally what happens, it could drop to this area, consolidate, then we see like another week towards this simple moving average. This is the weekly chart, so it's slowly rising. So I'm saying like it could still has a possibility to come drop below even 60K, right? But it doesn't mean I'm gonna waiting for it to drop below 60K. But when I see like it's somewhere near 65K, I'm going to start adding, slowly adding to my portfolio like this year, but not going to go all in, keep on adding like little by little. And if it's like at 55, I'm going to add more. If it drops to like 50K, I'm going to add even more. So that's what I'm going to do. And then we need like a consolidation for another maybe 3 months or so before we see like higher prices, because then this 60 to 75 70 to 65 to 75K area could be like a resistance, so it needs to break that level before it goes higher. So when we see Bitcoin at 65K, even below 60K, around somewhere near 60K, that means the share market has gone down a lot, right? So that's when, as I mentioned earlier, we need to see QE. So I believe it's a mid-cycle top. This is not the cycle top, it's a mid-cycle top. So normally what happens in the mid-cycle top, we see like short-term hype. That's what we've seen in January, even December, November, December, January. That's what we've seen, like because of, they say because of Trump, everything's going to go up. Like that's, it's quite the opposite happening right now. So that's the hype we were expecting, and then we need to see a share market drop, like Nasdaq, S&P. Nasdaq is already down 20%, right? So we need to wait and see whether it's gonna go down a little bit lower, right? Or if it's gonna go up, like make a little bit of a there'll be a bit of a pump and then go lower. We need to wait and see. So that we are seeing that right now. So I'm thinking by May, there's like a Fed meeting happening in May. That's when I believe they're going to announce QE. So if the market keeps on going down, if you see the share market keeps on going down, then that will probably give, as I mentioned in my last video, that'll give a reason to Federal Reserve to print money. That we call it QE. So when QE happens, then we'll see a month to 2 months, like 1 month to 2 months, like consolidation, and then Bitcoin trying to go back up, and then maybe normally like 3 months later, like once they have done QE, that's when we can expect a whole season. So I'm expecting a whole season probably Q3 this year, like late Q3. If we are lucky, so in the summer, like we are heading into summer, like in US. So in the summer, we might not going to see much, rather than just a bit of consolidation. So we have plenty of time. Like I'm not in a hurry. I'm not bothered to get back in, because the reason is I I already do hold some altcoins, right? So if I'm wrong right now and Bitcoin start going up and then make like an all-time high, so it goes to like say 150, 160 area, I'm quite okay with that, because then because I have some old coins, I'm gonna sell it and just make some money. But if it goes down, right, you'd rather have some USDT ready just in case, right, if you're wrong. So you gotta go 50-50 right now. So yeah, expectation is like Bitcoin has to go a lot lower, right? This is just the start, I guess. It has to go down to 65 area. 65, 65 to 70 to 65 area is a good place to add more, start adding more. If it comes to like, if it drops below 60, is even better. As I mentioned like many times, bigger the dip, it drops so much, that means there's be a massive pump coming up late, I mean, in Q3 this year or even towards Q4, right? So that's what the expectation is. So unless it happens, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna wait and see. When it drops below 70K, I'm going to start slowly. I'm not going to put like, oh, everything. I just put like, 5 to 10% and then buy some BTC and then wait and see. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. So, and I also want to mention one more thing. Yeah, super. When it comes to super, so every time there's a share market crash, like they come out and say super, like, the accounts got hacked or something like that. So there could be a reason behind this because normally they, like our super money, they invest in share market. So when the market goes down, they know people will panic and start selling their super, and then probably ask them to sell their super from share markets and then go into cash. It's too late to do it right now because in February before this crash, I actually uh, converted all my investment into cash, like my super investments. Everything I converted into cash. So I'm holding on cash right. I'm on cash right now. Even my wife's account, I did the same. So we are on cash, 100% cash right now. I'm waiting for the share market to go a little bit lower, maybe another leg down. Then I'm gonna add, then because Australian super, you can ask them to do whatever you want to do, right? So 100% cash. When the market goes down, I'm gonna slowly go into like share market. I'm gonna buy maybe 30 to 40% of my portfolio or my cash value. Gonna invest into share market, like preferably international share markets and even Australian share markets, right? So I'm that by doing that, I'm trying to like increase my super value, right? Instead of like putting any lot of money because if you buy right now and the share market doubles, like you can make 100% on your super. I know you won't be able to get it out right now, but eventually you can take, it's like a investment, like after 60 you probably be able to get a lot of money. And if you have more money after 60, then when you get like to that age, like your life will be a lot comfortable because if you have a lot of super. So that's one more thing I want to mention. Yeah, so as I said, it looks like the crash has just begun, so we just have to wait and see. I would like to see a lot lower prices for the share market and for Bitcoin as well. So this pocket right here, like it needs to go below 70K for me to start adding money to Bitcoin to start adding Bitcoin to my portfolio. Otherwise, just gonna sit down and wait and see. There's no hurry. Like if it goes up, it's okay. I'm holding enough alls. If it goes down, that's also okay because I'm holding enough USDT to get back in. Okay, so that's a quick video in regards to Bitcoin price action. I'll talk to you in the next video. See ya.